episode is in partnership with Taylor Brands. Taylor Brands is an all-in-one platform that brings affordable branding and design to any entrepreneur or small business owner. Taylor Brands makes it super easy to kickstart your business idea and look professional online with tools like an online logo maker, branded business cards, website builder, domains, and even branded designs for social media. Just go to taylorbrands.com, try it for free, and when you're ready to purchase, use the coupon code Sierra Nicole 20 to get 20% off. Hey, what's up, guys? It's your favorite entrepreneur here, Sierra Nicole, and welcome back to another episode of The Boss Seat. The Boss Seat is a show where we interview different individuals who are absolutely killing it in their respective fields, and you get the chance to see what it costs to really be a boss. So let's go ahead and check out this week's guest. And today we have some super special guests, the owners of RKG Roofing, Kimba and Robbie. Thank you guys so much for joining me today.
No, Sierra, we're very excited. Thank you so much for inviting us on today.
Absolutely. So can you guys tell the audience, for those who are not familiar with you all, you are in the DFW area, but tell us a little bit about your company and what you do.
Sure.
Mostly what we do is we do a lot of insurance restoration. That's definitely our niche, and what we like to do, such as roofing, or even when it comes to flood and fire on the renovation side as well.
That's awesome. How did you guys get into that industry?
Robbie's been in construction his whole life, just growing up. I always make the joke he's a true Garcia. He grew up building houses with the uncles and his dad and everything like that. So he's always had that natural passion for taking ugly real estate, ugly spaces, and bringing them new again. That's at RKG. We really pride ourselves in taking what was old and making it new and better than it was before. So Robbie was actually in billboard construction when I met him, and he was on the road all the time, and we just hated that for our family dynamic. So when we met, we're actually a blended family, so our children blended so beautifully together, and we really wanted to be able to keep everybody under the same roof. So we started RKG following Robbie's passion for construction and our mutual passion to just keep our family together.
Yep.
That's amazing, and I absolutely love the family dynamic.
Yeah.
And you can see that because you guys do awesome with your social media marketing, and I can really see that family dynamic within just even your staff. That's amazing.
Yeah, we're super proud of that.
Yeah, that's amazing. How did you guys even meet?
We met on social media.
She stalked me for months.
No, it was the other way around. But we met on social media. We had some mutual friends, and we just kind of started talking on social media. He was actually working in Atlanta, Georgia, and I went on a business trip with my sister up there. Her and my dad own a business together, and they asked me to go on this trip. So he ended up contacting, what are you doing? I had no intentions of ever meeting him in person, to be honest with you, girl. I just didn't. I thought he was just going to be one of those like player kind of people that was probably messaging all the girls the same kind of jazz, right? So I wasn't really interested in taking it to the next step, but he ended up being in Georgia, and so was I. So he got me because he texted me and said, hey, we should meet up. I'm only 2 hours away from you. And I was waiting for him to do that Playboy move where he says, you should drive and come see me. And I was preparing to say no.
Right.
But what he said is, can I make the drive to come see you? And I'm like, oh, you're going to drive 2 hours to come meet me? Okay.
So he was serious.
He felt serious.
Yes.
Yeah. So we met, and then, the rest of it's been history. So
That's awesome. I love that. How is it being business partners and being married? What is that like? Because I know that can be difficult.
Full time.
Yeah.
very full time.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way actually to describe it. We wake up first thing in the morning and we start talking business, and it's the last thing that we talk about before we go to bed.
She wakes up and starts talking money. That's the first thing that she wakes up.
The first thing on your mind. That's awesome.
It is.
Listen,
we gotta collect this. I'm like, babe, it's 6 a.m.
Very serious about maintaining cash flow is important, right? And keeping it in the positive is very important. And so, especially, when you're an entrepreneur that has built it from the ground up, we've all felt cash flow struggles, right? And so you work with entrepreneurs every day facing that, and you help them get the financing that they need. So I've been on the losing side of that, and I've been on the winning side of that. The winning side of it feels better, and so I wake up with that as my main priority every morning.
Absolutely, and I can definitely relate because my fiance and I, we're also business partners, so I know that there are benefits, but of course there are struggles too.
Yeah.
So with maybe a newer couple out there, someone who's just married or getting together and they want to start a business, is there any advice that you give?
I do. I have one. I would say not to let it get in between you, but instead celebrate your differences and opinions. Because what I've come to learn is that over the years, there's multiple. Robbie and I are very different people, so I always have a different perspective than he has. And we used to allow that to cause tension in our relationship. But now I've learned to prioritize his opinion and my opinion, put all the cards on the table, remove the emotions, and really use that to be solution orientated for our business. So that's the main thing that I would suggest to people is look at both of your perspectives, and when you disagree, look at that as a great thing, because there's more opinions on the table now that's going to lead to a more positive outcome for your business.
I love that, and I love that you mentioned kind of taking the emotions out of it in certain circumstances, because that's important, especially when you're dealing with business.
Right.
And it can be very difficult to manage that for sure.
Yes.
I love that. Robbie, quick question for you, because I know, we see Kimba all the time online with, your awesome social media marketing. For you, what about, how do you feel about putting your business out online like that? Because I don't see too much of you. I don't know, but I'm just curious kind of how that works. You seem the outspoken a little bit more. So, how is that for you?
I mean, I would say I definitely try to post when I can. My wife definitely attacks business from a different aspect. That's definitely where she shines, is the marketing, the face branding. She is amazing with that. Versus more, I specialize in the back end of on dealing with insurance carriers, getting things approved, ensuring production in the back end. My job is to back up. We call it, it's a team effort. It's like she brings in the fish, and it's my job to make sure I reel it in, catch that, and make the most of it.
I love that. So it's almost like you guys are just working in conjunction with each other with what your strengths are.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's amazing.
That's what I tell people. He keeps the promises I make.
I love
she
that.
She dreams it, I make it happen.
I love that. That's awesome.
It's definitely a
I'm the
great
brains,
flow.
he's the muscle. We have 100 of them. We have 100 of them.
That's so awesome. How is it building a team? Because I know, usually with business owners, your business, that's like your baby, right? So now you're putting that trust into other people to carry out what you two have built. So what is that like, building a team, and maybe some advice for someone who's trying to build a team of their own?
It's a lot. It is. It's definitely a lot. It's not been the easiest thing, but it's definitely great to see it develop, especially over the years. Management's been the biggest thing, and again, my wife is more business minded than I am, and she's done
in a different way.
In a different way. She's done everything on the back end to create the systems and processes and flow sheets and things like that.
And that would be my advice for somebody is, one, you have to have core values, and I don't mean lame core values like honesty, integrity. Okay, that's everybody's core values.
Right.
But action core values that tell your team not who you want them to be, but what you want them to do. And so a couple of ours are do what you say. That really matters to me. Wake up to win. Grow every day. Right. But if you'll notice, these are all it's a verb. I'm telling people what to grow, learn, do what you say, do. Right. So. And those are the things that I literally hire and fire around. You either align with my core values or you don't.
Right.
And if you don't align with my core values, then you're not going to maintain the culture. But then it's to have good position outline agreements where people understand their responsibilities, how they go about their day-to-day task. I think a lot of times, and what I've done wrong in the past, was I hired somebody and I gave them a job instead of creating a job that I then hired somebody for. And it's much different when you sit down and you say, what are the tasks that I need this person to do? What responsibilities do I need them to carry out? What qualities do I want this person to have? And then you look for a person that fits that in your core values. It's going to make the team building process so much less painful because you're not going to go through the frustrations of constantly, all my people suck. All my employees suck. If you think that about more than 50% of your employees, you suck.
Right.
And you need to give them more structure and processes and more clarity or more training. And so that's definitely something that, you know, and he says it's hard that we have fell forward on, was really having to strengthen the leaders that we were. And as we became better leaders, we got a better team for it. So
that's really good insight. Like it starts at the top, right, and trickles
1,000%.
down. So becoming that better leader, that's key. If you guys are watching this live right now, go ahead and put down in the comment section, be a leader. That is key. That is huge, especially for any entrepreneur. Even if you're just, you know, a one-man show, you have to learn those leadership skills. You have
to further your knowledge and your skill too. That's one of the most important things.
That's key.
Always be growing.
Always be a student. That's what I always say. Always be a student. And I know you've been in the industry for a while. What kind of things do you do to keep learning, keep getting better?
I mean, definitely over this past year is insurance restoration on, you know, proving causation. That's been the biggest thing for this past year was developing that skill. You know, because a lot of insurance carriers, you know, their adjuster and the way that they do things, they have a good way of telling homeowners no. Right. And we had developed how to get them to say yes after they say no, just by proving causation, which has really helped develop just an amazing process to our system.
Yeah, and I didn't, you know, I actually did not know until I've seen, you know, posts about it from you guys on social media with the insurance claims and the issues that a lot of homeowners do have. What are, just a little side note, what are some tips for maybe someone who is a homeowner when it comes to dealing with insurance and getting a new roof or things repaired?
Definitely vet your contractor before.
I was gonna say,
choose
your contractor wisely.
that is definitely key is the contractor.
But let me explain why we say that, right? Because it's just like I feel like that sounds kind of cliche, but the reason why we say that is whenever you receive an insurance payout from your adjuster, you're gonna have a cover sheet, and on that cover sheet it says they are not going to warranty the work of the contractor that you choose. So we're gonna allocate this money, but if you choose Joe Blow up the road or whatever the case, I call him Chuck in a truck. If you hire Chuck in a truck and you have a leak in a year, the insurance isn't going to pay for that leak. That's going to come out of you because you hired the guy, he didn't install the roof right, whatever the case may be. But also, a lot of people settle for what they're paid for. You know, we just recently had a customer, they left the whole garage off the claim. They didn't pay for the garage. We have to have, and that's where Robbie's knowledge really shines when he discusses causation, because he's able to go back to the carrier and say, you didn't pay these people fairly, and this is why, you know, this is what I have to do as a builder to get them back up to code. So we do a lot of talking about code and things like that, but it's something that your average homeowner shouldn't have to know. They just need to know the professional that knows how to deal with that. Make sure they get paid fairly. Make sure they get good quality work out of the insurance claim.
And that's another thing that's definitely good on having an experienced contractor. It's not only experience in doing the builds, but you need to make sure if you have an insurance claim, you find a contractor that is experienced with dealing with insurance, because I've seen a lot of bad situations on some of the homeowners that we've come across, such as this contractor was going to charge on their deductible plus $10,000 more, only the simple fact that he wasn't experienced with insurance and didn't know how to get insurance to pay. Wow. So that was going back to the homeowner. And, you know, part of an insurance claim, the only thing that a homeowner is responsible for is their deductible and nothing more outside of that, unless they have any exclusions or crazy things on the policy. Right. But, you know, just finding that contractor that is experienced with is definitely going to help save a homeowner money in the long run.
Probably saves people thousands of dollars.
That's
right.
Amazing.
We had this one claim that a contractor was going to do the work for $23,000 and put this room back together when I came in and when it was all said and done, that job was $223,000.
It was that far off.
Right.
But the homeowners got an amazing HGTV quality renovation out of the situation. We remodeled their entire home. The insurance company paid for all of it.
Wow, that's amazing.
That
is amazing. Yeah.
We love stories like that. It's it's fun.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I guess it's almost those, like you said, just knowing the right people who know these things within.
It's the talk to talk, you know. It's kind of the political aspect of it, but you know, we always make the joke. Insurance won't cover rotted wood, but they have to provide us as the contractor a nailable surface, right? So it's just like these little
the wording,
the verbiage, girl. It's all about the verbiage. So that's what Robbie's really just he's became very, very, very knowledgeable in. So that's grown our business substantially, just, him being able to back that up in the field.
I'm sure, and especially because you are providing those experiences for homeowners. I'm sure, if that was me, I'd be running and telling everybody about what happened. So when it comes to, with promoting your business, I know you guys do like a lot of testimonials and things like that. Do you have any advice for someone who is starting to grow their business and trying to provide that, that perfect customer experience? Because you guys seem to do really well with that.
Thank you. I think it, obviously that's going to depend on industry, right? But I encourage my team, and it's something I talk about regularly at our meetings too. Right. What does a 10-star experience feel like if you were a homeowner, if somebody was showing up putting that roof on? And so I would just encourage business owners out there, for whatever service or product that you provide, put yourself in the consumer's shoes. What is a 10-star experience? Not a 5, not they're going to go talk good about you on Google, but like you said, they're going to run around and tell all their friends and them. What does that look like? And then, just be able to reverse engineer it, and so that you can decide how to provide that experience.
Absolutely. That's amazing. When it comes to your family, because I know you guys have a beautiful blended family with children, and I'm sure obviously you guys are amazing role models for them. When it comes to them, watching you guys operate within your business, are any of them interested in?
All of
them.
Oh,
yeah.
All of them are.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we really pull them in, and I like to have those conversations out loud in front of the kids. So I talk to my kids about, cash flow and how much things cost, and I talk about taxes and all these things. And even homeschool was a unique opportunity for us when we kind of got pushed into that this year, because I actually sat down and did some creative assignments with my kids where I had them develop out businesses, and they were each the head of a different division, and they had to come up with a name and a logo and a brand.
One of them's still on a bracelet hustle.
That's awesome.
Yeah, our daughter makes bracelets, and she sells them at school, and we found her wallet the other day. We're like, kid!
She's been selling bracelets. Right. She's got like $100 in her little wallet.
That's awesome. That entrepreneur spirit starts young.
It really does, yeah. But hopefully, whether they want to, my oldest son, he's actually talking about he might want to be a detective or in law enforcement or something, and I think that's really cool. But I think the principles of how business work really matter, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're an employee.
Right.
It's really important to understand how business and our economy as a whole operates, and so that's why I think it's important to have those conversations, like, as young as you can.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So 2020 was a crazy year when everything shut down, and we have a lot of online entrepreneurs on the show, and you guys have a in-person type of business where you're actually having to be in person. So what was that like with balancing the shutdown, and then of course with the virtual learning with your children, and then still running a business? What was that like?
It was crazy
hectic.
For a couple of weeks.
Hectic.
Yeah.
Especially trying to juggle the kids' the kids' work, how do we get to this class? How do we get to this class?
I think every parent out there with a school-age child can sympathize with the 37 apps we all had to become acclimated to overnight. So that was awesome. I will say I'm very thankful that I have the opportunity to work from home, and I don't have to be in my office, in my brick-and-mortar office, because I was able to at least I was able to pull it off, right? But, I really found myself at first terrified, but we were deemed essential. Of course, my construction was deemed essential, so I guess my hesitation and my fear was how are people going to feel having us at their home, especially in their home. It's such a personal space with everything going on right now. So we changed some of our training to Zoom training. We started utilizing more Zoom trainings with our team to keep people spaced out, especially figuring out what was going on at first. And we started offering Zoom consultations to homeowners. They don't have to come outside for us to look at their roof, so you stay inside. We can call and go over pictures and damage and stuff like that. So we did change a lot of our process digital. Thankfully, I'm already so wrapped up in the social media stuff. I was already familiar with Zoom and all these kinds of things. So it was easy for me to adapt in a virtual type of process to help our customers feel comfortable. Our team felt comfortable continuing to work. We did too. So, we made it through it. And to be honest with you, in the middle of everything with 2020, we still grew. It was still a record-breaking year.
It was a great year.
Really? That's awesome.
Absolutely. And I mean, both gross and net, I was able to increase gross by, not the same 300% that we have every year moving it, but we're also bigger. So 300% is a bigger number.
Right.
So I wasn't mad about that. We still went up in our gross revenue, and more importantly, my target this year was to increase profit margins, and we did that as well.
For sure.
So it was still a great year. I hope everybody watching this also had a okay year, or at least learned how to adapt and weave through it, because that was the big lesson, I think, as an entrepreneur is, hey, sometimes things don't go the way that we've always done them. Sometimes things we have to adapt and weave, and what that should have showed everybody is how fast did it take you to do that. How quickly did you get over your fear, get back up on the horse, re-game plan, and go again. And we personally, we did that very quickly. So I was impressed with it. Also showed me our level of leadership skills and being able to take the reins and continue to lead even through crazy times. So I was thankful for the experience.
That's great, and that being able to adapt is so important. And I know a lot of business owners did struggle this year, but to hear that you guys have grown, that's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing, and I love everything that you guys are doing, and I'm so proud of just watching your journey, even just online. So you guys are doing amazing work. I don't want to hold you too long, but every guest who comes on the show, I ask them a question, and this is called the boss seat. So when you hear someone say, I'm a boss, you're a boss, what does that mean? What does being a boss mean to you guys?
I mean, I think being a boss to me means like running the show, tip of the spear, person in charge, one who makes indecisions.
Absolutely.
I think for me, it's accountability. I'm big on understanding what my team's targets are and then seeing how I can help them win. So for me, it's making sure that everybody that's in our ecosystem is winning. I know that we will in turn win for that. So.
I love that. You guys are so awesome.
Thanks,
I love
Sierra.
the energy. You guys are just amazing. Where can people find you online if they're watching this right now, want to connect?
Well, I am on Facebook as Kimba Garcia. This is Robbie with a Y, Garcia. So Facebook is really the best place to connect. You can also find RKG on Facebook. RKG. I'm launching my new personal brand, so if anybody wants to head over to my new website, it's www.ceo-af.com, and that's just where I'm bringing together some of the things that I've learned being an entrepreneur over the time, and bringing that together as a resource for other people, because I know that a lot of people have struggled this year, and I want to help people bring together resources to change that. So that is where we are on the internet, and from there there's Instagrams and all the things, but if you find us on Facebook, you can find the rest of it.
Awesome. So make sure you guys definitely check them out. I'll be putting the links to the websites down below in the description box. Again, Kimba and Robbie, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing some value with our audience. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. This was so fun.
Yeah. And again, thank you guys for watching another episode of The Boss Seat, and we'll catch you guys next week. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this week's episode of The Boss Seat. Make sure you are catching me live right after this episode on the Live Waves app. Okay, make sure you guys go and download the app and find me, Sierra Nicole, and we are going to do a recap of this week's episode. You can also stay connected with me on all social media platforms, Instagram, Clubhouse, Facebook, and YouTube. And we are going to catch you guys next week for another episode of The Boss Seat.